Thank you. In reading many of the briefings that were produced by organisations for today's debate, it is quite striking that most feel the need to keep emphasising the importance of treating people with dignity and with respect. I say striking because I was brought up in the mining village of Kelty, where treating people with dignity and with respect was the normal thing to do. Indeed, most people today, I think, would say that treating people with dignity and respect is still the right thing to do. But what people are referring to is the Tory welfare reforms, which, far from treating fellow human beings with dignity and respect, stigmatise and demonise. Very few of us can ever say we absolutely are certain that we will never be in a position where we will need some form of help or some form of support, either for ourselves or for our family members or for friends. To drive people into despair and for the first time in almost a century bring about absolute poverty in communities up and down Scotland is what the Tory welfare reforms have achieved. So today the message to Ruth Davison's Tories must be, in this Parliament, show some backbone, come out and oppose any further welfare reforms that create such misery in communities up and down Scotland. And it is because of the Tory attacks on the most vulnerable, the disabled, the mentally ill and the poor that I say today to the Scottish Government that they must look to take control over powers being devolved as soon as is possible. As the Poverty Alliance has said, the current social security system is failing people every day, and we should not delay any opportunity we have to improve the lives of people on low incomes. I agree. Child Poverty Action Group make the point that the Government need to get the introduction of these powers right, but they go on to say that there are elements of the new social security powers that can be utilised more quickly. We should be exploring what areas could be brought forward more quickly. They argue that the Government should seek to make arrangements now with the DWP on the way that PIP is structured and delivered to claimants in Scotland. I agree. Other areas the Government can also act on now is the benefit take-up. We know that there is almost £500 million in tax credits not being claimed, and £170 million for 53,000 carers unclaimed in Scotland. Councils and third sector welfare groups should be given the support to increase the benefit take-up work and should be given that support now. The Government should also sign up to Labour's proposal for a legal requirement that the new Social Security Agency does all it can to make sure that people get the support they are entitled to. I also note that Marie Curie state that carers' allowance should be a benefit on its own in its own right and not one that is tied to a person in receipt of other benefits. There is also the top-up powers that have not really been considered within the consultation that has taken place. The Government and the Parliament are being asked by the Child Poverty Action Group in Scotland to consider a top-up payment of £5 a week for child benefit. Child Poverty Action say that a top-up of £5 a week on child benefit is projected, and I quote, to reduce child poverty in Scotland by 14%, meaning 30,000 fewer children in poverty than would otherwise be the case. This is a proposal that I would suggest must be investigated further. Many organisations also highlight the view that the administration and delivery of benefits are not contracted out to the private sector. I agree. I also note that Engender are calling for the development of pilot schemes for a citizen's basic income in Scotland over the course of the next parliamentary term. This is something I believe that we should be looking, a forward-looking Parliament should be willing to consider. I am aware that this weekend there is a meeting taking place in Govan to set up an association to look at this. There is a meeting this weekend taking place in Fife, where the Fairer Fife Commission did say that this was something that Fife Council would support. So I have to say I'm very keen to look at these proposals, which are not in the consultation, but I think we should be looking at. But ultimately, the Tories need to show some backbone. Ruth Davison's Tories in Scotland reject welfare that's causing such damage in our communities across Scotland.